I previously reviewed the Mars 300 wireless unit from Hollyland, and in this video, I'd like to show you the new and very much updated Mars 400S wireless transmission system. If you're not familiar with these, a wireless transmission system allows you to send a video and audio signal from your camera to a monitor, television, and more. While shooting, someone could be operating the camera and you or another person, such as the director or client, wants to monitor what's being shot instead of camping on or near the camera. Or like me, you don't like having even more cables and cords running all over the place. As a solo shooter, I use it for my B-roll table as I can't monitor the camera since my hands are occupied showing products and I need to see that I am keeping the product in frame. I also use this for my live streams on my camcorder, which not only keeps all the wires out of the way, but allows me to grab the camera and show something else without being tethered to a cable. There are some other cool uses I'll cover in a moment, but first, let's go take a look at the package itself. We'll do some indoor and outdoor distance tests after that. The package itself comes in this nice box and it's all very nicely tucked away. The units themselves are all aluminum, very solid, not heavy at all. We have the two units. One is the transmitter marked as TX and the other is the receiver marked as RX. They're nice and compact, measuring about 2 3/4 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall minus the antennas and about 3/4 of an inch wide. Each unit comes with 2 antennas and I really appreciate how they include an extra antenna in the unlikely case that you break one. These come off easily for transport and screw back on and are quite firm and stay put. The unit comes with a cold shoe mount, but unlike the Mars 300, they include this L bracket and a small screw that comes in handy for mounting the transmitter to the whatever unit or whatever camera. This adapter is for a USB connection, allowing you to update the firmware via computer and USB, and like the Mars 300, I keep it mounted on the unit so I don't lose the connector and it doesn't interfere with the operation of the unit. Like the Mars 300, I like that they include a power adapter to power one of the units, so the only battery I need is on the transmitter, which would be attached to the camera. Both units can be powered using the widely available Sony L-mount batteries. One other note is when installing these batteries, they lock into place, so there's no chance of them falling out while using them. You just press this button here to release the battery and unmount it or change it. I happen to use these chunky 970s and I can get up to about 8 hours of the unit, which is great for me as I don't have to worry about my battery power during live streams or when I am shooting remotely. Powering these units up couldn't be simpler, just flip both units on and they automatically sync. On this side we have the USB connector, as I already covered, an HDMI in, which is where you would connect your camera feed, and new to the Mars 400S, an SDI connector, which moves this into a more professional type system for those cameras that have SDI connections. On the bottom side, you have a 1/4-20 screw mount for connecting the cold shoe and frankly, connecting anything such as a mounting arm. On the other side of the receiver, we have the on-off switch, simple on and off, and of course, the DC power adapter port, which you can power this transmitter with. Also, if you take a look at the receiver, everything is pretty much the same. The antennas, you have the USB for updating the firmware. Of course, the HDMI is an out, and that would of course go to your video recorder or your computer or wherever you happen to be displaying the signal, like on your monitor. Same SDI port, which is awesome, on-off switch, and the ability to power the thing. And then of course, the 1/4-20 adapter on the bottom. One thing I have to mention is you can purchase an additional receiver and use one transmitter to transmit the signal to 2 receivers, which is really handy. One mind-blowing option is you can connect up to 4 Android or Apple devices to monitor the video and audio signal being set, such as on your phones, iPads, and SmartPads. But the idea is instead of needing a separate monitor like for a client to watch what you were doing and hanging off your shoulder by the camera monitor, they can simply download the app, you can hook up the signal for them, and they see what's happening without interfering with you, the crew, or the talent. You can go download the app, launch it, say you want to join, and you're good to go. The first time you do this, it will ask you for the scan code on the device, which is located right here, and only asks you the first time you do this. You can see here I have the transmitter connected to the camera, the receiver connected to the monitor, and I can go wherever I want with the monitor. Now I'm monitoring the signal with a phone. A client or the viewer can take a photo, record the video, and even make notations on the video using these 3 different colors and different brush sizes. I can go back to signal and you can see here it's live, and the person watching can record what is being transmitted, then come back later and review it. Now another great feature is very low latency when transmitting. I believe it's something like 0.1 second, which is barely noticeable. Usually the latency you'll get is from the monitor itself, which is why having the option to use SDI connections, if your camera allows that, is awesome, as one of the benefits of SDI is almost zero latency. These units have to be cooled and they use an extra quiet fan, but you should pay attention to this. Let's listen for a second. I can't imagine why you'd have these units next to a microphone, but let me show you what you get. You can hear when I sock this right into the microphone, you'll pick up some fan noise, but seriously, why would you ever be doing that? As soon as I move the unit even a little bit away from the mic, you won't be able to hear the fans in your audio, so I don't ever see this as being a problem. Let's go back to the units, and unlike the Mars 300, these have OLED screens offering various options. You press the right and left arrows to move back and forth through the menus. Pressing the middle button, we're in scene mode. We have image mode, which means that it's going to transmit the highest quality video possible. Then we have balance mode, which will try and balance the image quality and the speed or latency. Then we have speed mode, which takes the latency as a preference over the image. Normally, I'm probably just going to use image mode. To back out, we click down a few clicks and select return. Next is system settings. You can set your language of choice. You can also manually pair them if you need to, but I don't know why you'd want to do that because this thing automatically pairs. Now we have version info. Version info tells you what version it is. This is really handy if you want to check to see if your firmware is totally up to date. And lastly, we can exit out of the menu. Now by pressing and holding the center button on the receiver, you'll notice we have system settings, version info, and then we can exit. The difference here is this is the receiver, it's not transmitting anything. At the top you'll see channel scan. What it'll do when you press this, it will scan all the different channels available in the area you are, and then it will return what's the best channels. It looks like 1, 4, and 5 are not that great, and 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8 look awesome. So if that were the case and you were having a problem with this, you could go in and manually set your channels on this. I found that the auto pairing on the channel that I'm on has been fine in most cases for me. Now the range of this thing per Hollyland is 400 feet, line of sight or 120 meters. Let's go take a walk and see what we get. Okay, we're going to test the outside test of how far we can go with the Hollyland 400S. Let me show you what I got set up here. Now I have this Canon XF 400, great camera by the way, does everything. And up on top, I have the Hollyland sitting there. That's the receiver right there. Now down here, I have the Anderson monitor, and up here I have the transmitter just connected to the Anderson. Let's turn on the Anderson monitor. Okay, it's on. There's no signal. The transmitter for the Hollyland 400S. And then down here, we'll turn on the receiver for the Hollyland 400S. One of the things I do like about this, if you'll notice, it shows up on the display. I can see it's trying to link. I can see it's trying to hook up. And there we go. It's right there in front of me. So now I got the camera recording. And over here, I got the Anderson showing the HDMI signal. That's really hard to see, but I'm sorry about that. That's the only way I can show this to you. We're gonna go take a walk. I am very far. I gotta be at least 10, 20, 30 yards. So that's a lot. Let's keep going, see what happens. I still have a signal. I've got to be easily 100 yards away from that camera. All right, I don't know if you can see that. The monitor is still, man, I wish I could get the glare off of this thing. The monitor is still transmitting and showing me this signal, and I gotta be easily, I'll count it on the way back after I lose the signal. It's ridiculously far. Let's really stress test this thing. Let's just keep walking. It's still transmitting. I cannot believe that I still have a signal going with this thing. Still have a signal going with this thing, and I have to be 200 yards? Maybe I'm mistaking that. Still see myself way down here. Let's count this off. I'm gonna steps of, each one is 3 foot, so let's do that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 8, 9, 100, 8, 9, 40, 7, 8, 9, 60. So I went 100. Wow. So I went 160 yards with this thing, which is ridiculous. I will tell you how many meters or whatever that is. That's way beyond the specs of that thing. So line of sight, they've really nailed it. I still have the monitor still going. I can still see what's going on. Obviously the sun is out and I'm way overexposed, but we're not testing picture quality right now. We're testing how far this thing will go. In this place, there's plenty of walls and barriers and metal plates and tons of electrical signals and Wi-Fi running all over the place. Let's check that out. Okay, now this is going to be a stress test indoors. That's my awesome Secret Labs chair. I made a video on that. You can see I have the transmitter sitting on top of the camera just like outside. You can see I'm also recording at this point. It's recording there. And you can see on the monitor itself, I have the receiver sitting here on top of the monitor. I mean, you might do it this way, you might not. So we can test this out. Now I've got this video queued up over here because if I just left the chair sitting here and you don't see anything moving, how do we know if it freezes? That's what this is. This is a MOVO blimp. I'm going to compare it to this Rode blimp and... Okay, now I am in, still playing. I'm in my studio. I'm easily through one wall, 2 walls, a bunch of electrical stuff. There's Wi-Fi going on, there's lights going on and everything else. As you can see, we're still transmitting over there. And it's working just fine. I got Wi-Fi stuff happening over here. We're going to go down here again. I got walls, I got electricity, I got Wi-Fi signals, I got metal in some of these walls. We're just going to check it out. Let's take a look downstairs. Hey dude, say hi to the audience. And as you can see, the video there is still playing on our monitor, so we're good to go. Let's go this way. I'm a good 30 feet easily. Now as we move along, we're moving through more and more walls and ceilings and lights and televisions on. Wi-Fi's behind there. I got Bluetooth going on. I got all sorts of stuff going on here. There's all sorts of electrical stuff going on here. Let's just head out into the garage. Stuff going on over here. I am way far away from this thing. I gotta be at least 60, 70 feet easily. And as you can see here, trying to not have the reflection. There we go. The video's still playing upstairs. It's still transmitting the signal. That's really, really, really impressive. I have 3 bars on this thing, and I gotta be 50 or 60 feet away easily through all these walls and everything else. Okay, now I'm outside. As you can see here, that's really stress testing it. I have maybe a bar, but if you'll see here, it's still playing the video upstairs. You can see my hands moving while I'm demonstrating this thing. That's exceedingly impressive. I don't know how far I go until I lose this thing. Yeah, it lost the signal at this point, which, okay, cool, man. I mean, it's searching for the transmitter. I wouldn't have expected it to go this far. Let me move another couple yards forward and see how this handles it. So here we go. Now it's looking for the signal. Oh, there it is. It found the signal. And then it's back. This is impressive. This is even more impressive than the Mars 300 that I reviewed before. Really, really nice. Wow. Hey, look at that. Now, it looks like the monitor's bad. It's just that the DJI Action is having a very hard time focusing on this monitor. It's a beautiful image. It really is. Let's go back upstairs. Where I want it. Like if I want the mic closer. Really, really impressive. Let me stop this video. Single mic. But here's all your options. If you need an SDI connection or want to be future-proofed when you upgrade later to an SDI camera, the Mars 400S would be your best option. At this time of the video, it lists at just under $650 US. If you don't need SDI, there's the Mars 400 without the SDI, which lists at just under $540. If you don't care about the OLED and other options, the Mars 300, which I've been using without fail, is just under $350. I've included links to everything in the video description and appreciate it when you use those links as it helps support the channel. By the way, if you want to win some gear, I'll be doing a giveaway of 20 different high-quality products from awesome companies such as Acusonus, Aputure, Deity microphones, iFootage, and Rode as soon as I hit that 100,000 subscribers, probably in the next week or two. I'll be making a video about that, but you can enter now by clicking on the link in the description. The only requirements I have is that I have your name and email so I can pull you as a winner and contact you, and that you are subscribed to the channel, so you might want to smash that subscriber button right now. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. These units measure 4 and... 4.5-ish inches.